is advised.
Hey everyone, this video is brought to you by Audible. Audible is offering you a free audiobook with a 30-day free trial membership. All you need to do is go to audibletrial.com/bgunlocked. The link is in the description below, and now enjoy the video. Hey everyone, welcome to the discussion for Brook City, which is by Blacklist Games, the Sadler brothers, and we were just talking about...
I loved him in the movie.
Which one?
Just Adam Sadler.
Man,
I don't know what's
hilarious.
His weird brother Brady Sadler.
He's just like, you know how like celebrities have like siblings, right. And
yeah.
Who are they?
Okay, yeah.
They
make a movie
anyway,
together where he like played like a man and a woman or something.
Jack and Jill.
There you go.
Fucking A.
God.
No, we were just talking about, man, these guys just know what they're doing. These games are so much fun.
Yeah, I mean, the card system is incredibly similar, but if it works, it works.
Exactly. Like, I know a lot of people were kind of complaining that, like, oh man, like, because they have another one where it's superheroes. It's called Heroes in Need.
Oh, yeah.
That was their latest Kickstarter. They just did another one called Alter Quest, which is fantasy related. And then they're about to work on one with Sentinels of the Multiverse and stuff like that. But I remember a lot of people complaining for Heroes in Need, going, "Wow, it's just like their other games; they're the same." And it's like, if it works, then why stop?
I mean, they're good at crafting these decks that are unique.
That are unique to each player.
Yeah, and you feel kind of special about using your... Yeah, I like it.
I think it's fantastic. So, I mean, because this follows obviously almost beat for beat Street Masters, like even down to the actual rounds where it's like draw a card that goes in your threat area, then you do your actions and you're very fluid in what you can do there. Then you do all your crime stuff, and then you draw, and then the boss does his whole thing, and then in this case we have a case which is similar to the stages in Street Masters. But here's what I love about their games, and Brook City's no different. I love the versatility. The variety is just so great.
I know, like the 3-deck system.
Yeah.
It's like you get your character deck, you get your boss deck, you get your case deck.
Yep.
What was the other one? It was like location or Street Masters.
In Street Masters was you have your boss, then you have your location, you have your stage,
and then your characters. So yeah,
it's just, I mean, it's the exact same thing. The cases are the stages. The boss is the criminal, the suspect in this case. Well,
it didn't feel like he was just harassing us.
Right, yeah. So, like we weren't specifically like fighting him. But he was there to put another edge on the case.
Right.
But what's really cool is that I felt like this one actually was a little bit more versatile than Street Masters, because Street Masters, yes, you're fighting, you're beating up the boss. Here you have so much going on, so like all these leads, the case where it's like, oh man, here's the story that's going off over the whole thing. Well, this is just something that can cause you to lose.
Yeah.
And then the way that this particular one went out was that he was the Vitruvian Man going. That's the way I took it, was that he was actually the suspect going around cutting people up.
Could be.
But that might not be the case at all. It's fantastic. And they do enough tongue-in-cheek stuff. Like, this was clearly Will Smith. Even coming down to the cards where it's like Fast Talker, or the Bad Boy shit with Martin Lawrence.
Yeah.
This is so him, but each deck and each character feels so unique. And how you're gonna play, even if we did this exact same one again, the case has, at least the Vitruvian Man case, had a story A and story B.
Oh, cool.
So, there was actually specific cards that you could change, that would kind of change up the story a little bit. But, depending on who you're playing this as, we could do the Vitruvian Man with the gangster guy, or the Russian dude, and it would completely change up how this whole thing is going off.
Yeah.
One thing that I think that Street Masters does a little bit better, I feel like it's a little cleaner. This one had a lot of extra stuff.
Yeah,
that was kind of confusing.
Very wordy.
It is.
It's like the influence, Yeah, I mean the progress, the
encounters, the crime.
Yeah,
it's like,
and then like all his shit. It was very awkward getting to figure out what the fuck is he doing on his turn.
Because we're sitting there and we're like, how does
like they need to be ordered or something?
They are ordered.
Oh, so you go just like run left or
right?
right?
Yeah, you run down. That's why I kept doing this.
Excuse me. I just thought like, okay, it was this one.
Right. Yeah. So he moves to get stuff, and then if he doesn't get stuff, then he gets cooking. He gets stuff off cooking the books. If he does, it goes on cooking the books.
Okay.
Which we could potentially try and get him, and you can't ever like do away with the suspect. You can just bust him, and he has a bust ability. But this guy, this was so funny. Like, trying to think of it being Guy Fieri, and like how when he lost his car, he had to walk his fat ass over there try and get his drugs. And he has crazy car, and then his daily pickups, which caused us stress because we knew he was going around and getting drugs. Then if you leave him unchecked, then it's gonna stress you.
Well, it's like essentially like he had like a drug dealing system, so that they're accumulating income.
Yeah.
He's going to collect his income.
Yep.
And
then retire off into Flavortown.
Yeah, into Flavortown.
Yeah,
Well, then that's how he starts his restaurants. It's from his secret drug business. That's how he got startup money.
Whether they know.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there's not really like a whole lot to talk about. I like the leads. I think that's really cool that you just kind of swoop by, pick it up. It's not an action to interact with them. They're going to be all over the map, which allow you to. This is, and they're not like broken in such a way where it's like, man, I got this card, so now I'm gonna be able to kick ass. But some of them are pretty good. Like place one progress on a crime. Okay.
Yeah.
The chartered bus, move your figure to any Brook City location, but you can only hold one. The Vitruvian Man let us hold two, so you can't run around and just amass all this free shit.
Right.
What do you think? Okay, what do you think that was the most fiddly part of this game?
I mean, his turns were weird. I mean, trying to figure out what exactly we can do. Because, their system's really neat, but it always comes to the, okay, so I have my own move step.
Yep.
That I can do any of these steps in any order. But then there's the action step, which could be numerous actions that can be done in any order of my card step and move step.
Yep.
Which is still getting used to all of that. I'm like,
right.
Okay. And then when that ability gave us like a free 3 move, and then it's like I also have a move step, and then I have a move action. It's
and then you
weird.
Can move it is kind of weird.
It's a lot to take. Yeah.
I think that's why in Street Masters they printed off those cardboard things that you can flip to know that you've done it.
Yeah, it's like I could keep track of what I was doing, but I was like,
yeah. Because what was the most confusing about Street Masters and also this one, they're essentially the same game, just rethemed. Is it's like, okay, I can play a card from my hand. And then I can use a card action.
Yeah.
Isn't that like the same thing as me playing? No, because it has to specifically say action.
Right.
So yeah, that's kind of confusing. Here's my biggest thing of what's fiddly: the vehicles.
That is awkward.
That was extremely awkward because it's like, okay, because there's different things. Okay, you have spaces. Spaces are where your people go, and they can move diagonal. They can book it. Just like if I'm here, I can go 1, 2, 3. Like I can cut all the way across diagonally, which is going to sometimes be more efficient.
Yeah.
But if you're in a car, well, then they go in like squares, like 2 by 2, so they move by 2 spaces.
So essentially they double your speed.
It is essentially faster, but you can't go diagonal, so whenever you're moving, it's 1, 2, and then you have to like weirdly go like 3, and then move like that. It's initially very awkward, and then sometimes trying to think of, okay, like getting in and out. Like, can I just willingly do that? Yes, but you can only do that per each step. So it's like, if I was there, I can get in, during my move step. But then I can move, and then I can get out. And then during my card step. That's just kind of very fiddly. It's a little awkward. But I think it works well for the game.
Yeah, it's definitely, it was difficult learning.
Yeah.
From the get-go. But once we got in a groove, we did really get in a groove, and that it really opened up, and it was quite enjoyable.
And I think that's also kind of like learning the characters. We've never played these characters before.
Yeah, I did really enjoy my mechanics. I liked how it's like, oh, you get a tactics card, now discard it.
Right.
And then you get a bonus for discarding it.
Yep.
It's like, oh, get your tactic cards back.
Right.
Oh, get a bonus.
I think, because this one doesn't have, or this has a keyword that Street Masters doesn't have, and that's prepared. Mm-hmm. And I actually kind of like that, where it makes your duplicates pretty good, because you can never have more than the same card in play. So it's like, okay, well, if I have 2 sports fan cards in my hand, and I get to play 2 cards, well then, like, with your ability, then it's like, boom, prepared, now I move 3, and then I can move another 3, so I'm just like, just like drive across the entire thing. It's always really cool because to see the synergy between players. And I was initially worried with how big this map is, because Street Masters, of course, has the very concise one, but you're not zipping across as fast in a car. But I was wondering, man, are we going to be able to cover enough ground with 2 people? Yeah, it worked perfectly fine. Yeah. And the other cool thing was with like getting the progress tokens on them, it balanced out. Like, I could see this one actually being really good with even more people versus Street Masters, where it's just like, well, his health is 60 in a 3-player game. This one, it's just like, okay, well, that case needs 9 on it, versus, whatever it could have been. It seemed a little bit more manageable, but I think that's because you have to cover more ground. Yeah. Versus just always being near the boss and just being able to all punch him. Here you have to drive. Everyone might have to drive to the clue, which takes time, and then there's also influence and stuff like that. Right. Yeah, it's fantastic. I think it's awesome that you can commandeer cars. That
was neat. I'm kind of curious what else is in there.
Let's see. So you got a Suburbarado. It's a station wagon. Yeah. You have a Quixini. It's a it's a thing. Motorcycle. A Bradville. A Claxton compensator. So there's a bunch of different cars. There's a Thrasher, a Decker. It's a van, and that's it. Oh, and a Coyote. So a lot of different cars, and they all have their own like.
Really, they each have a mini.
Yeah,
neat.
They all have a mini. And then there's the special ones. There's helicopters. These are remote. They don't have minis for the helicopters, because I think it's remote, so it's supposed to be you up in the air, so you don't have a mini to... What would you do?
Yep.
But then they have boats, and there's more police cars that you can do. I guess you can actually... Oh, you could have picked between your colors.
Could I pick this alternate?
You could have picked the other one, yeah.
Oh, what's different? What does it do?
Let's see. What color were you? Yellow? That is... Well, this car is not controlled by... I think it's the same thing.
Oh, just a different...
Oh, actually, no, it's... Oh, you can't ditch it. You don't have a ditch ability.
Oh.
Yeah, so...
Kissy.
Yes. There it is.
Oh, neat. The Sprinter D.
Yeah, you can
just... Oh, it will move diagonally.
Oh, okay. There you go. But... Yeah, it just creates some hilarious moments where you like ditched your car, ran and beat up that guy, and then you're like, shit. Then I call you and I'm like, hey, by the way, the chick is fucking sewn up and dead. You're like, okay, I'll be there. Get out, shit, moped. I'll be there in 20 minutes.
That was very perfect. That was perfect.
So yeah, this one has a kind of a more hilarious tone to it. Very action packed. Because I remember seeing this on Kickstarter. And I was like, I don't think I'm going to back it. Like, I'm not really into cops. Like, and I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah,
I thought the cop theme wasn't gonna work, but...
Yeah. But, I mean, you think of how many movies they made and how many hilarious archetypes.
That's true.
And then it's like,
we essentially had the buddy cop system where I'm like the smooth talker trying to get ladies, and then I'm like, I got a hunch. You're over there just like behind me.
Psychopath.
Tell me, where are the other drugs going? And I'm just like... Don't worry about him. Like I'm trying to hook you up, but she's like looking over, and it's like, really, that guy?
Splattered in blood.
I'm like, you're like, like I'm Keanu Reeves, and you're Gary Busey. That was you were just fucking insane. You don't know who Gary Busey is.
I know who Gary Busey is.
Like, you haven't seen movies.
I haven't seen him in any movies, I don't think. I've seen the Family Guy jokes.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
He's wild. Yeah. Little.
Oh, he did do some Fire Stick commercials for Amazon.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. But yeah, I think initially this game is a little bit more complex than Street Masters.
Yeah.
But ends up working out really well. I mean, and there's so many just different criminals and case decks. Like we have there's the All Long, like the rich Asian dude, the Russian guy. We did Gus Ferguson, Lita Wicks. Oh, I think that's actually the chick from Street Masters. I think she's one of the characters. Mercy, like Mickey Scott, he's a character that can be in Street Masters, and then Slade Harper. So not as many. Well, I guess that's probably about as many as there are bosses. But then all these different cases that are in there as well as the different. But yeah, like a lot of replayability.
Definitely.
You got anything else?
I mean,
there were actually two things that I really liked that were a little bit different. Was there's no like charge up ability where your damage charges up and you get a special thing. There's none of that. But what I did like was that one of your actions is if you can play a card or actually draw a card. Street Masters doesn't have that. You're not you don't have an action that lets you draw something.
And they let you do the, if you don't want to move, you can just take a little heal.
Yes.
A little breather.
That is really, really nice. Which I guess makes sense because we're not physically fighting anyone. Like, we're just like...
I'm behaving myself.
Yes, you're like...
Their stress is how close we are to getting fired. That's crazy.
Right, instead of... Because I thought they were going to go with the damage, like you're gun fighting and you take damage and get shot. But nope, they went the safer route where it's like, nope, you're just...
I feel like they do that with a lot of cops-themed games. It's stress.
Yeah.
Stress is a big thing.
It is, like, yeah, because with, like, the detective game, Modern Crime board game,
yeah,
you have like a stress meter versus that. Well, it makes sense. It's a real job.
Right.
Like, being a martial artist fighting some drug cartel is not a real job.
Yeah.
But it's more, you are actually physically fighting. But the other thing that I really liked was when you rolled, they still have the exploding dice. That's still always great, especially when you get 5 in a row.
Did you get, that was ridiculous. You were just rolling 2 dice. You somehow got 8 successes. There's 1. There's 2. I feel like they're weighted. They have to be.
I did kind of heat them up a little bit to like make them way down.
Yeah,
that was insane, and I like totally overkilled it. But what's really neat is you can spend your hunches to make them into successes.
Yeah, it's a little different versus.
Right.
Like, yeah.
You kind of just took what you got. Like in Street Masters, the results were you had a shield which gave you defense tokens. So I think their dice system also was a lot of fun in this one as well as Street Masters.
Yeah.
But that's pretty nice, especially with this character where I just was like 2 cards. I'm like, oh, there's 5 hunches out. Okay, I have 10 hunches. And it helped a lot in this case where it was like discard a hunch or take a stress. Okay.
Nope.
And we're over there like, where's the guy Fieri? Where's this Vitruvian man? And I'm just like, I think he's over there. It was fantastic. I had so much fun.
Yeah, good time.
Then they have the expansion, which adds smuggling. There's a syndicate deck. There's off-duty. There's a wreck deck. Like... Oh, rec rules. Yeah, so that's what these rec stuff is. Yep, play this card in the case area, remove traffic duty from the rec deck and place it near the supply. So each time a card effect forces a cop to discard a vehicle, including optionally replace that card's vehicle with a wreck.
Beautiful.
So you could have actually, I think you draw one. Each time a cop enters a street with a wreck, you suffer a stress. Each time the cops must add 1 or more wrecks to the board. If there are less than 1p wrecks in play, an action occurs. So then you'd draw a wreck card, and you could have done a traffic duty.
Oh god!
So you could have actually. That's what these minis are for.
That's amazing.
Drunk driver. So wreck events because of you're ditching it, and then some drunk driver just slams into it. So they have a lot of extra stuff, which I think is pretty neat. So. Yeah, as always, even with Street Masters, I just want more of these, more criminals, more cases.
Yeah, they're so easy to expand upon.
Exactly.
The way their system is.
Yeah.
It's this, that smash up style. I mean, it is timeless, and they figured it out. It's a good system for these kind of games.
I was talking to a friend the other day, and I was like, these card smash up games where it's just take this, and this, and he's like,
I don't think I have disliked a single one of them.
No, they've always worked. Enchanters,
Yeah,
same
I
thing.
love that game.
Smash Up, of course, is fantastic. This one, Street Masters.
Yeah.
It just... Because the versatility is just there.
Yeah, it's a good system.
Love it. You got anything else?
No, that's good.
All right, so on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think? Actually, here's my question. Do you like this better than Street Masters?
I feel like I could be in different moods for both of them.
That's
I
true.
feel like I could feel like more of a Street Masters one day, and I could,
Right.
I could do Brook City again.
Right, and that's also actually a cool thing because even though it's the same mechanics, they work so well with their theming. Like it's literally the exact same fucking turn system, like round system, but the theming for all the decks differentiates them enough. Whereas if I was playing another game where I was like, man, this kind of plays like the other one, well, I'll just play the other one. It's better. Here, it's like you're right. Like, oh, am I in the mood to be like a Bruce Lee impersonator, beating up some drug dude, or do I want to be a cop? And yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna give it a 9.
9? Yeah, I think I'm honestly there too. I was initially thinking an 8, but now I think a 9 makes this. This game is
good.
so much fun. You got to get past the initial reason for an 8 was you have to get over kind of the fiddliness of the cops.
It is very fiddly.
Of the cars.
Yeah, the wording. You definitely. I mean, having something that's either played before. I mean, starting out, it's just a little rough.
Yeah. But even then, we've never played against Gus Ferguson. Kept calling him Guy Fieri. Hopefully, he doesn't see this and sue me. He's like, hey, I don't do drugs. I don't sell drugs in my restaurants. But yeah, once you kind of figure it out and you set it up, then you're like, oh, okay, so this is what he's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think a 9 is a solid score. But that's it, everyone. That's our thoughts on Brook City. Let us know what you think of the game in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more of my content, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell to be notified whenever I upload any new content. If you feel like supporting the channel, you can go ahead and click that Patreon link to be taken to my Patreon, and any help is truly appreciated. Other than that, stick around for any other run-throughs or reviews or cool top 10s or whatever I feel like putting on. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.